Adolescence and Puberty. Hey, have you developed some hairs above your lips?
Yes, and you have suddenly shot up in height. Even your height has increased suddenly.
The voice also changed for some. The growth starts from the day we are born, but there are sudden changes occurring in the body when we reach in our teens. These changes include change in voice, development of sex organs, increased activity of sweat and sebaceous glands, reaching mental, emotional, and intellectual maturity, and change in body shape. The period of life when the body undergoes changes leading to reproductive maturity is called adolescence. Adolescence begins around the age of 11 and lasts up to 18 or 19 years of age. There are many changes that occur during adolescence. These changes mark the onset of puberty. The most important characteristics of puberty are that boys and girls become capable of reproduction. Puberty ends when an adolescent reaches reproductive maturity. In girls, adolescence begins earlier than boys. Secondary sexual characters. Now let us switch to the secondary sexual characters. What are secondary sexual characters? These are the characters that distinguish male from female. Like in boys, the facial hair grows, that is, mustaches and beard, along with hairs on chest. In girls, breast begins to develop. Apart from these, both in boys and girls, hair grows under the arms and in the region above the thighs or the pubic region. Role of hormones in insects. As we know that the larva changes into an adult by the process of metamorphosis. The thyroxine hormone secreted by the thyroid gland is required for metamorphosis. Thyroxine production requires the presence of iodine in water. If it is not present in water, the growth in tadpole stagnates. Reproductive phase of life in humans. From the onset of puberty, the reproductive phase of an individual starts, that is, he or she becomes capable of reproduction because the male or female gametes are secreted from the respective sex organs. This phase is shorter in females than males. In females, the reproductive phase of life begins at puberty, 10 to 12 years of age, and generally lasts till the age of approximately 45 to 50 years. One of the ovaries releases a mature ovum every 28 to 30 days. During this time, the uterus wall thickens and prepares itself to receive the egg. If the fertilization occurs, the embryo gets embedded in the uterus wall, and if no fertilization occurs, then the released egg and the thickened lining of the uterus, along with its blood vessel, are shed off. This leads to bleeding or menstruation. The menstrual flow, marking the beginning of the puberty, is called as menarche. The reproductive phase lasts for 45 to 50 years of age, after which it stops. This stoppage of menstruation is termed menopause. Menstrual cycle is also controlled by hormones. The cycle includes the maturation of the egg, its release, thickening of uterine wall, and breakdown if pregnancy does not occur. How is sex of the baby determined? Now let us study another very interesting topic which makes us understand how the fate of the baby is determined, or in other words, what would be the sex of the fetus. Before understanding this concept, let us study the genetics. Humans have 23 pairs of chromosomes. These chromosomes are thread-like structures present in the nucleus of the cell. These contain the information that is passed on to the next generation. You appear similar to your parents because you have inherited the genes present in these chromosomes from them. Out of these 23 pairs, one pair is called as the sex chromosome. Another surprising thing is that these sex chromosomes are different in male and female. Females have 2 X chromosomes, while males have one X and one Y chromosome. At the time of fertilization, only one X from female and either X or Y from male comes in contact and fuses to form a zygote. You will be amazed to know that the father determines the sex of the unborn child. Confused? Well, it is simple. The mother can only donate X chromosome, whereas the father can donate either X or Y chromosome. If the father donates his X chromosomes and mother X, then it is a baby girl. Whereas if the father donates his Y chromosomes and mother X, then it is a baby boy. Puberty. Now let us study in more details the changes occurring at puberty. The most prominent change at adolescent is the increase in height. Boys suddenly grow taller. This also depends upon the height of family members, as children inherit these genes from the parents. Nutritious food intake is also required for growth in this period. Change in body shape. In boys at puberty, the shoulders broaden, muscles grow prominent, and chest also widens, whereas in girls, the area below the waist broadens. Voice change. Did you know that the larynx also develops at puberty? But what is the function of larynx? As air passes by the vocal cords, they open and close rapidly, resulting in pressure changes that results in the production of sound. The growing voice box in boys can be seen as a protruding part of the throat called Adam's apple. In girls, larynx is small and hardly visible externally. They have high-pitched voice, unlike boys who have deep voice. Development of sex organs. The sex organs also develop fully. The boys start secreting sperms from mature testes, while in girls the ovaries enlarge and eggs begin to mature and release every month. Reproductive health. Nutritional needs of the adolescents. The physical and mental well-being of an individual is regarded as an individual's health. For the proper development and well-being, one should have a balanced diet which contains the entire essential nutrients. You can easily differentiate between the two teenagers. The first one has a balanced diet with food rich in carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, and minerals, while the other is solely dependent on junk food that contains less of nutritional value and more of fats. Personal hygiene. Apart from the nutritional requirements, adolescents should also take care of personal hygiene, like bathing daily to avoid any bacterial infections. Girls should be keeping extra cleanliness during menstrual flow and keep a track of their menstrual cycle. Physical exercise.